Today is a glorious day if you can look past a thing called short-term noise from haters, doubters, and people that live in the moment. Because if you are an individual that lives in the moment, it's very dangerous to be in the market, let alone to be in companies like SoFi that just literally, well, let me go ahead and finish my spiel, then I'll get to their earnings really quickly. But it's pretty clear that Robinhood actually did flop a little bit on their earnings, unlike SoFi here. But as for SoFi and Robinhood, two phenomenal opportunities that are going to outperform so many stocks, let alone the market. People are throwing under the bus. So today's episode is going to be around Robinhood's earnings that came out last night. I did buy more shares on two accounts, and also SoFi's earning that came out this morning, and I did buy more shares. Going to be showing my public account for this YouTube channel momentarily. I want to go over their earnings really quickly and talk about pretty much what happened, because if you log on to social media, which is the wrong thing to do, you will probably be scared that Robinhood is going to let you down and is going to go nowhere, and they're a declining company. And as for SoFi, forget about it. Their legacy is pretty much over. They're just going to evaporate overnight because, well, they kind of broke their streak of, so to speak, triple beating. So if you go on social media, you're going to be scared out of your wits. But what do you do in a situation? What do you do in a situation like Robinhood, where you may have, well, it's definitely done very much later in the evening. So obviously you're not sleeping in. You're very much wide awake, hopefully, unless maybe you're around a different country around the world where you theoretically would be sleeping at 5 p.m. Eastern. Could very well be 5 a.m. for you. But listening to the conference call yesterday for Robinhood, and I really do hope that SoFi actually does adopt a earnings someday, kind of like Robinhood, because Robinhood really does put on a really good earnings conference. And it really does make you feel, well, how great the management team really answers questions. They take questions from other YouTubers, and it just makes you, it makes you as long-term investor pretty much feel confident in that company. Now, a couple things with Robinhood. One is that they got hit because of Bitcoin. I've been talking about this for the last, how many months now? I want to say maybe 5, maybe 6-ish, so to speak. And I've also been buying the stock repeatedly, and I did buy more shares last night because, well, Bitcoin is going through a downward cycle right now. Bitcoin's not going to be going through a downward cycle forever. It's called a cycle for a reason. When I say Bitcoin, I also mean all of cryptocurrency. So when cryptocurrency definitely recovers, Robinhood is going to be much rather flourishing like crazy. Now, they're noticing a lot on their balance sheet. Pretty much Robinhood did flop on earnings. They missed on revenue and also EPS. The previous quarter, they missed on rev, but they came in line with EPS. Actually, I think they beat on EPS, but it was pretty clear their earnings per share and their also revenue did decline for two real factors. One, because of Bitcoin. Two, actually I should say three factors. One, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Three, or two, what the hell am I saying? Two, we're not in a very risk-on market. Robinhood is a risk-on company. When the market's going to be very much risk-on, Robinhood, quarter over quarter, is going to be soaring to all-time highs. And number three is pretty much the Trump coins. So Robinhood is basically funding the Trump coins, which is nothing bad. If you're playing politics here, you are doing something terribly wrong. Many companies are funding the Trump coins. It's actually very bullish for America's future. And if America is going to be thriving, well, the stock market's going to be thriving. So if you have a grievance whatsoever with the name, the Trump coins, hey, if you're going to be playing politics in the stock market, you're going to get your ass kicked one way out of the other, because I've been in the market consistently for over 6 years now, And I don't care who or what politics are in any sector of the government. You need to stay mirrored to the market. If you don't like the fact that there's Republicans in the White House and you're like, I'm not going to be in the market for 4 years, or you don't like the fact that maybe there's Democrats in the White House and you don't want to be mirrored to the market, you're going to miss out on life-changing money. So playing politics in the market, that's a very dumbass thing to do. If you are one of those people that do that, you're going to get your bum handed to you. You need to stay in the market through the tough times and also the great times as well. Okay? So their balance sheet right now is just really just seeing a little hurdle. But if you listen to their management team, pretty much they're going to be doing a lot of great things here. One of the things they're going to be doing is doing crypto. They're talking about crypto in Canada. That's basically pretty much going to be coming out during mid-year. That could be good, but it also could signal that maybe crypto is going to be turning around as well mid-year too. So that's extremely bullish because once again, if crypto is going to be really good, then Robinhood's earnings are going to go back to, all-time highs. But understand that the company is growing year over year. Okay, it's not like the company did not grow. And there's it may look like a big amount of revenue that they ended up missing. Understand that they grew. Okay, the company is growing. It's not like when a company misses on revenue, it doesn't necessarily mean the company's going tits up, belly up, whatever terminology you want to use. It pretty much means that, hey, something is causing a problem for that quarter, okay? Robinhood obviously is not necessarily being impacted by the Strait of Hormuz and also the Iran war, but at the same time, it really is because that is causing the market to be very risk off. When that clears up, hopefully in the next several weeks, the market's going to be very much the opposite, right? SoFi. Oh, man. Okay, this is driving people utterly bananas. One, SoFi came in line with earnings per share. Cool. That's awesome. A lot of people are furious because they didn't beat on EPS. I'll get to earnings per share in a minute. I am actually very happy with the earnings per share on SoFi because when you are I'll talk about EPS right now. When you are a growth company, your EPS is not necessarily going to look as sexy as a value company, okay? What would you rather have being invested into a growth company? Would you rather have a higher EPS or a higher revenue? Because understand their revenue is growing 40% year over year. Their EPS obviously is a little bit of a laggy right now because when you are a growth company, you're going to be seeing that explosion in revenue. When you definitely level out, which EPS, and I'm going to pull up some stuff right now, but EPS for 2028 projection is $1 for SoFi. So if you are an EPS like hound and you're a very old school style investor out there and all you do is look at EPS, understand that we're in a different market than the days of Warren Buffett. Okay? Warren Buffett, I say this respectfully to the guy, but the way that he's made billions is different than the way people are currently making billions today. Fundamental analysis is still fundamental analysis, but understand that these companies are able to scale so much quicker than companies many, many years ago. It's because it's called technology. And Warren Buffett is beyond a boomer. I actually think he's not even in the boomer generation. I think he's the generation before the boomer generation. People like that have experienced a different style of a market. The market that I right now am experiencing is high growth rates of companies. So if you are very pissed off, like a lot of people are on social media, which they're acting as clowns, understand that the company is growing massively. Sure, we broke the streak of triple beating. Hey, you want to look at their stuff right now? I'll show you it. So, understand if you wake up and you see one of your stocks are down, what do you do? Or rather, what did I do this morning? Well, what I did this morning is I didn't go on social media because there's a bunch of friggin' noise there. I didn't turn on corporate media because corporate media is pretty much dead. I didn't look for YouTube videos out there by content creators. I literally logged on to their website and I pulled up their earnings because earnings dropped at 7 a.m. Yeah, today I slept in a little bit until about 7:30, 35, ended up rolling out. And I mean, SoFi was already very much hit then. Okay, so earnings. Pulled up their earnings. I went on their SoFi investor relation page. That is what you do. You don't go on social media. You don't go on YouTube. You go on to their website and you pull up their earnings, okay? Or if you ever see your stock randomly down 10%, what's going on here? Should I sell? Well, look on their website. So, SoFi's first quarter earnings, Q1 of 2026. I will say I've been in this stock since February of 2024. This year kind of feels like 2024. Oh, yes, it does. Because the first quarter of 2024, it was the worst quarter of 2024. And then we just got better and better and better and better and better. So what do you see? Adjusted net revenue up 41%. Crazy, right? But yet people are very mad because they're EPX. Okay. Adjusted EBITDA up 62%. If you don't know what that means, I really need to take like 10 minutes to really explain what that means, but I want to keep this video below 20 minutes. Understand that that is amazing. Okay, utterly amazing. Total loan organization at record 12.2 billion, definitely about their loan platform, exploded. Member growth 35%, product growth 39%. So all in a nutshell, what ended up happening? Well, I'm a shareholder of SoFi, so I can very much say we. They ended up losing their largest customer, Chime, which is also a competitor. Chime is also a fintech. Chime is a publicly traded company. Yeah, it's kind of really humorous why Chime would probably want to leave SoFi, right? They ended up leaving the technology platform Galileo, so this is very much causing very much a lot of balance sheet hurdle. And this is very much going to be a temporary hurdle because now we're going to be moving into a new era of SoFi where we don't have to worry about Chime. And Chime was a very large component of their technology platform. And understand that when a large customer leaves their technology platform, it shows on their balance sheet. What basically pretty much does that mean? So SoFi is a financial institution, a fintech. They have a lending side, they have a financial services side. So they make revenue based on lending and also based on non-lending. Understand that their largest customer to their non-lending side ended up leaving. But they're also a competitor, which is pretty friggin' funny, right? So overall, I mean, we kind of knew this was going to be there, but we just didn't know how bad it was going to be impacting. But once again, I mean, you got to understand that they're growing rapidly. Another thing, too, is that they are now guiding for no rate cuts, which is bullish. Why is that bullish? Well, it's because if the Federal Reserve comes out with just one rate cut, which I believe the Federal Reserve is going to be doing multiple rate cuts this year. I talked about this in previous videos. The new Fed governor, he has a history of being hawkish, but the stuff he's saying is very much the opposite. He believes AI is going to be deflationary, not inflationary. Therefore, it's going to allow him to convince the other Fed governors to lower rates. So it's bullish because right now SoFi is guiding for 0 rate cuts, which means if we just get 1 or 2 rate cuts, hey, the stock is very much going to go back to very high levels of trading, right? So there's a lot of things. I listened to the entire conference call by Anthony Noto. You should really do your own due diligence, even when it comes to watching YouTube videos, YouTube creators like me, other people as well. I challenge you to do your research. If you don't have time, or you say to yourself you don't have time, well, then you're going to get very burned one day, because you need to make time, especially when you're actually buying these types of stocks. You can't just be watching a YouTube video and trust someone on YouTube. I'm not a financial advisor here. I've done my due diligence, so please do yours. Water, cheers. However, I will say that there are a lot of shenanigans happening on social media where people are losing their minds. And it's pretty much people that are very much addicted to noise. They want noise to go up and they want noise to go down. Why do they want noise to go up? Because when noise is going up, they can basically pretty much gamble in the market. When noise is going down, some of them might be shorting the stocks. And secondly, some of them may scare out people. And believe it or not, there's people that get a kick when other people sell out of shares. Why? Is because those people tend to have bought SoFi when it was at all-time highs, and they ended up selling in the mid-20s for a loss. So they want other people to sell for whatever reasons. Yeah, there are evil forces that control evil people. Those people are real, and they're on social media, and they're a bunch of dirtbags. So understand that if you are a long-term shareholder in SoFi, right now is a phenomenal opportunity to be buying discounted shares for the long term. And if this Fed governor really is going to come in with rates, oh man, it's going to be epic. If you're new here, welcome. If you enjoy my content, smash a like. I'm doing a public account challenge on this YouTube channel. This public account I created just for this YouTube channel. And I'm taking this sum of money to 6 figs in the course of 17 months. Account challenge started 2 January this year. So, I do have a bunch of rules on how much money I can actually deposit into this account, and I've been preloading a lot of my future deposits, but I did buy Robinhood shares last night. I bought SoFi this morning, a good amount of shares, and I've added in the last 6 months now to Robinhood. SoFi, I did not buy on my private account because I have a full-size position built. I did buy Robinhood on my private account and also on this account too. I have shared this before, but on my private account, I am holding a massive amount of shares of SoFi here because I am a raging SoFi bull. And I've been buying this stock since friggin' oh boy, May of 2024, 1,642 shares, and it's been a utter roller coaster, and I'm so happy to be a shareholder. I ended up getting 1,500 shares in middle of May of 2024, and the stock just continued to go down. So therefore, I just continue picking up bonus shares. And obviously this account with SoFi, I just have bonus shares out the wazoo. But I will continue to adding to SoFi on this account. If SoFi grows to a 9,000 total cost position, not a problem at all. Something that I will say on a closing note here is that this year is so much feeling like 2024. Because 2024 for SoFi, I remember. And the reason why I started buying SoFi in 2024. 2024. Hold on one second. I got to actually pull up my buys. I think Robinhood actually still allows my history. Yep. Ooh. Yep, my buys are right here. Hold on one second. Here are my buys. Look at this. Look at this stuff. Hold on. My first set of buys First set of buys. February 2nd, February 13th, first set of buys, $7.59, said $8, $7.90. What was happening during this time period? Anthony Noto came out and said that we are pretty much making a flip now on our balance sheet. And pretty much we have finished going through a downward cycle. And we're going very much into a up and to the right like time frame. It was the first quarter that they're actually going to be talking like, hey, a big flip is here. Early 2024, SoFi pretty much reported a very, very growing quarter, but the guidance was very wonky because the guidance revolved primarily around the Fed. And the market just really did not like it. And then as we got more clarity and more guidance, the market very much turned and flipped in the later half of 2024. Obviously also flipped with the election as well too. I really feel that this Fed governor is going to come in and he's basically going to say, hey, AI is very much going to be deflationary. We can very much resume rate cuts. We're not going to be sending rates get down to zero. That is unrealistical. But we can very much give maybe 2 rate cuts this year of a quarter basis point. SoFi is guiding for 0 rate cuts right now. So therefore, SoFi did not triple beat this quarter because they are waiting on the Fed. The new Fed governor. Woo! Today is the last time we get to see Jerome Powell's face, and honestly, I am excited. The guy is nothing more than a reptile, in my opinion. Some new blood in the Federal Reserve is going to be good, and on a closing note, there's a lot of politics at play here, but why would the president pick a hawkish Fed governor? Because the president wants to unfreeze the housing market, and the way you unfreeze the housing market is by lowering rates. So why would he pick Walsh if Walsh is going to be very hawkish? Now, of course, the Federal Reserve is not even part of the U.S. government. The Federal Reserve, honestly, should really be abolished because it's just nothing more than a stupid credit card for the U.S. government that we are enslaved to. But why would the president pick a hawkish Fed governor? It doesn't really make sense. Unless maybe the new Fed governor is not going to be that hawkish. And also maybe the Iran war is going to clean up very, very quick. Oil is going to be going down, back down to maybe 50, 60 a barrel. And maybe all this temporary inflation is not going to be here much longer. And we just need 1 rate cut. SoFi readjusts his guidance. We get 2 rate cuts. Ooh, a lot of bullish comes back into SoFi in the market. And you will see this position on the screen is going to soar like you can't imagine. So ignore the short-term noise from a bunch of haters and doubters. I deal with them on a daily basis. And if you enjoy my content, make sure to follow along, like this video, and subscribe for future episodes. I will see you all tomorrow with a brand new video. Today is a lot of earnings, and whoo, the market's going to be volatile. Otherwise, I mean, it is what it is. Understand that red means blood, you buy. And if you've been following this channel and me for the last 6 months, we've been buying a lot of stock. Last 6 months, I probably bought now close to $70,000 of hard cash worth of stock. And I will be continuing to buying more stock here. So take it easy, everyone, and later.